What on earth is going on with the Edmonton real estate housing market? Well, you're going to want to watch this video right now. Thanks so much for tuning back into our channel. And my name is Melody Wilson with RE/MAX Elite. I'm going to talk to you today about what is going on with the April Edmonton housing market stats. And you all know that we've all been staying at home for the last 2 months. There's been a lot of restrictions on businesses operating. There's been a lot of job layoffs. There's been a lot of job changes in terms of less hours. And what does that all mean for the Edmonton housing market? Well, I'm sure you're not surprised that the Edmonton housing market has taken a really quiet turn, typical of April. So April is usually ramping up to be busy because May is typically our busiest month. But because April was the beginning and start of what we were seeing from being locked down in mid-March when the schools shut down, things have changed a lot in the last month. So we took a look at the Edmonton market stats, and over the month of April, activity was still happening. People are still buying homes, but you can imagine a lot less. So the listing absorption rate is at 9.72%. There's not a whole lot of listings right now, and it hasn't changed from the April to even May as we've been watching the main market closely. Not a lot of people are putting their houses on the market, and also a lot of people have pulled them off of the market. Now, in the last few weeks, it has been May, and things have been changing because of the Alberta economy relaunch. However, we haven't seen any of the ramifications of that yet, and we'll be tuned into the next video when I talk in June about what's going on in May. We can kind of see what's happened. But in this video, we're going to talk about what happened in April. In April, the amount of listings is definitely lower than normal at this time of year. So if you look at the homes that were sold this month over last month, you'll see even over last year, we are down quite a bit. We only sold 9.72% of the properties that were listed. So typically we sell almost double at this time last year. And last year we also had a declining market. So it wasn't like that last year was a great market by any means, but of course this year's market completely takes the cake for one of more of the challenging markets in the last 5 years. So the average price for single family homes here in Edmonton, if you're buying a home for your family, interestingly enough, it did go up slightly from last month. Now from last year it is down. And something to maybe play an effect to that is that there's not actually so many properties for sale, and there are still buyers. And so there is a demand for properties that don't actually exist right now. And that's been a real challenge for buyers. And so sometimes you are actually seeing multiple offers in this market. So typically in May, we start to see the number of solds increase, and we're going to be holding our breath to see what's going to happen. We have seen recent trending that things are starting to pick back up, but nowhere near where it normally is at this time of month. So the average days on market has gone down a little bit from the last month. Like I mentioned earlier, there's not a whole lot of properties coming up for sale. So buyers that are needing to buy right now who are serious, they have very little availability in terms of what they can buy. If you take a look year over year, we did go slightly up for average days on market because it was still a lot busier last year at this time. So year to date, we've only sold 1,938 single family detached homes in Edmonton, which is still lower than normal. Of course, the popular price point is the $300,000 to $400,000 price range. So you can see our number of sales, we are still selling. If things had completely gone to a complete halt, that would not be good. The lowest week we had for sales was 61 homes sell in 1 week in the Edmonton area. So that was like our all-time low for that one specific week. However, things are starting to look up. Now, I'm not expecting that they're going to look up even close to what we had last year, and I know that our market is slowly recovering. There's still a lot of changes. When it comes to buying and selling your home, it is no longer the same and no longer close to business as usual. So things take a total different perspective in terms of how long things take to sell, the process of when you go out to look at homes, making sure that no one's sick, and also making sure that proper social distancing is happening, is all impacting our real estate market. And as we all adjust to what we need to do right now to help people move, because there are people coming for work, and that's a good sign. The economy is still moving, and of course we can't ignore the fact that our oil industry is deeply impacted, and that is also going to take a massive effect for our overall sales in terms of home sales and people wanting to list their homes and being able to stay in their homes. So if you have any questions about how this is impacting you, one specific thing I'm noticing is everyone's situation, of course we've always known this, is always so specific to themselves. There are people that have been staying at home and working, still making their income, and we're still planning to move. Those people are still able to navigate that, and we have to talk about what the plan looks like now compared to what it looked like before. For example, it takes a lot longer to get a pre-approval done, and lenders are a lot pickier with what your situation is for work, and they're asking questions that they didn't used to ask before. And now you can understand, because of our Alberta economy, we have to all take that into consideration. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, send me a message, send me a text or call, and we'd be happy to talk to you. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next month.